Hi guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you're all well. In this video I wanted to share with you a few things I learned through having to do group work. Group work was one of my least favorite things at uni. I just feel like it's so much easier for me to do the task on my own rather than having to coordinate and cooperate with people. Obviously the things that I learned from practicing group work did come in handy now that I'm practicing social work, as a paid social worker. But at the time it wasn't fun at all, and I just hope I don't have to. Well, now I do have to do it. Like every now and again I have to work in a team, and I don't always just go by what I know. So it's good to have that experience of working in a team, but at the same time I just think like it was tough work when I was at uni. I think the people that I'm working with now are a little more responsible than the people that I had to work with when I was at uni. So challenges that came up for me in group work were things like people not attending meetings that we were booking, people not participating or doing the task that has been allocated to them, or people taking over and wanting to control everything. That was really annoying, even though it's good to have someone who is almost responsible for us, who would allocate tasks and help us make sure we're on track and stuff like that. It can get a bit annoying when they feel like they're the teacher now, you know what I mean? So I found that very challenging, having to maintain that balance. So these are a few things that I felt were beneficial, and I thought I'll share with you guys. And if you're in uni or if you're having to work with a group of people that are not necessarily that cooperative or that easy to work with, hopefully you can take a thing or two out of this video. So let's get right into it. I found that the first thing that made group work a little bit easier was just making sure that I was doing my bit. So when we were allocated work, and there was maybe 5 of us or whatever, if no one was making the effort to say, okay, let's have a meeting on this day or whatever, I'll just put my hand up and say, okay, can we have a meeting on Friday or whatever that looks like. And I found that me just putting my hand up and doing those things was helpful, because a lot of people either didn't care enough about the assignment or didn't want to take control or whatever, so they would just leave it and wait to hear from someone. So obviously someone had to do it. So I found that just at least organizing those kind of meetings were beneficial, so as to at least allocate tasks to people and that kind of thing. And I also made sure I attended every meeting that we were required to attend. Obviously I had no control over what other people in the group decided to do. Not everyone was like attending meetings and stuff like that, but at least I was onto it and I was on top of what I was required to do. So I found that being there was helpful, and then that made me aware of the gaps, so what parts of the assignments are missing and who hasn't done what and that kind of thing. So I was on top of that, so then that helped me just be aware of what parts need to be filled out just in case of anything. And the assignment is due and we have some bits that are missing. At least I know what those bits are, and maybe we can put together something quickly. And I found that not necessarily allocating tasks was good. Like people just put their hand up, so then they were answering parts of the questions that they had interest in or they found easier, or whatever was easier for them was what they were putting their hand up for. And that was really helpful, because obviously that way that they're going to do a good job with the parts that they've been allocated. So in the end your chances of getting good marks is quite high. So I found that like allocating tasks to people was also very beneficial. And even people who didn't attend meetings as such tend to have their tasks ready by the time the assignment is due, even though they didn't necessarily attend the meetings, because they were aware of what was required of them. They were able to deliver on the last day. I found that having everyone's email address or like a phone number or something was really beneficial as well. So if they don't attend meetings, at least you're able to text them to let them know what the outcome of that meeting was or whatever that looked like. And finally, I think it's important to pull people up if they're just being really slack about everything, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect your marks if they don't do well or if the assignment doesn't get good marks. So you have to be able to pull people up. I think luckily I didn't have a terrible group. I had groups where people didn't really attend meetings and stuff like that, but still by the time the assignment was due, we would have it ready, you know. So it wasn't too bad, even though the coordination process was difficult. We always had the assignment ready on time, you know. And I've had a few times where I've had like really controlling people where you have to do this, you have to do this. And it's like, no, we're actually all students, just have a seat, let's just have a discussion. So that has been challenging, but I think it's just about, you know, speaking up and letting people know what your thoughts are. And if you find that someone isn't putting their all into something, just pull them up and just let them know how you're feeling about what's happening, and you know, check out what's going on with them and why they're behaving that way. And if you can support them in any way, you can do that. And you know, if they're not willing to be cooperative, then it might be you know, a matter of taking it to the next step and speaking to someone who is a little bit higher in position in school than the both of you are. So yeah, I found that those were what was beneficial for me. So yeah, although I wouldn't necessarily want to do group work in uni again, I feel like I learned a thing or two from that. So yeah, I hope you guys have found this video helpful. Let me know what your challenges have been in being part of groups in university. And yeah, if I have a similar experience, I'll let you know. Or if I have like an advice or something like that, I'll let you know as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.